Alright everybody, welcome back to our next semi-final for the Arena Maxima tournament. Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD edition for Total War Attila. That's right everybody, we are back in our other semi-final. I have already recorded and posted our first semi-final, which by the way, I was actually in. Please go ahead and check that out on the channel, but now it is time to check out the other semi-final. We need to figure out who is actually going to be in the grand final of our tournament. So, over here in the yellow section, we have the Electorate of Trier. This is being played by Premysl. I'm going to call him Premy. Premy is also another YouTuber who records some of his Total War content in Czech. Go ahead and check him out, pretty please. However, he is taking on Anubis, who is playing as the Republic of Pisa. Pisa, sorry. Way over here in the red. So Premy is the yellow, playing as the Electorate of Trier. Anubis in the red, playing as the Republic of Pisa. Two factions I know almost nothing about. So it's going to be really interesting to see how well these players do. All I know is that both players have gotten this far into the tournament, so they must be quite good. Although, again, I haven't really had too much personal experience. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Let's talk about each other's armies before we jump into it. Let's start off with the Electorate of Trier. This is Premy's army, as I was saying. Left-hand flank, starting off with some pretty heavy shock cavalry. 90 armor again, so this is the best of the best for them. Trier, Spear, and Nappen. Alright, I'm not going to bother with the names, just going to tell you what it is. We then have some dismounted Electro Knights. Very heavy two-handed axemen right there. They're going to be very scary for Anubis to deal with. He's then brought in one polearm, one handgunner as well. The handgunner is 55 armor, so quite solid. The right-hand flank is looking the same. We'll just skip over there. Electro Guard cavalry, so again, same sort of cav 90 armor, very heavy shock cavalry. Look at those big hectic lances. That's pretty hectic. Size does matter, ladies and gentlemen, as shown in shock cavalry. He then has another polearm, another handgunner, and more two-handed axemen backing up the rear. His center is just a whole host of swords, and a crap ton of them. He has the Trier Sword Infantry, the late variant. Looks like he has 6 of them right there. And in front he has Electorate Sword Militia in the front. His general is the Archbishop Elector of Trier, and again another very heavy shock cavalry unit. And then he has more Elector Guard. Basically insane heavy cavalry combined with some really nice mid-tier swords. 120 men per unit, plus handgunners and axemen and polearms. Very tough army to beat. However, Anubis, again playing as the Republic of Pisa, his army is way smaller. He's going for a quality, not quantity army. Very risky move. I'm not sure if this is going to pay off for him, but we shall see. I like the formation though, very interesting. So way over here on the right, he has both of these handgunners already set up. They are then backed up by 2 of these very heavy shock cav units, both are 90 armor again. You'll note that I point out that armor just to let you know what sort of level of shock cav it is. If it's 90, it's basically the best that that faction can offer. They then have pikes. Following up the cavalry, it's going to be interesting. Plus a general's bodyguard, again 90 armor, very, very solid. In the front, he has a mixture of swords and polearms, so he's got some sort of solid mid-tier swords here, but then they're followed up by basically a militia sword. Doesn't even have a javelin, unfortunately. Very heavy two-handed axeman right here. He then has 2 polearms in the center, and basically a reflection of the left for his main line. Good mid-tier swordsman in the front, followed by a militia sort of swords unit. Two-handed heavy axeman. Wow, look at them. Woo! They are scary. And then combining the cavalry sort of setup, he has another unit of pikes way over here on the left, and then another heavy shock cav. So cavalry-wise, they're about even, to be honest. In fact, I would definitely say they're even in the cavalry department. However, we can see pretty much straight off the bat, the numbers game could be pretty crucial. So we'll have to see how well Anubis can balance against the numbers that Premy is bringing to bear. I'm going to shut up. Let's go ahead and skip forward until the battle actually begins. Alright everybody, looks like Both armies are pushing forward aggressively. We got a lot of combat going on this right-hand side of Anubis. His gunners are spaced out and they are taking on Premy's gunners as well. Meanwhile, cavalry is occurring. Oh my gosh, big push coming in from Anubis. Very, very aggressive. However, he then backs off immediately. Sees Premy's general and spare cavalry coming over to support the flank. Just kidding, just a prank. He actually is going to try and chase them down. Premy is pulling back his cavalry, trying to draw the enemy cav in. And then changes it up and gives the attack order. Now Anubis is on the run as the general of Trier comes in and tries to help out. Gunners are also attacking the cavalry. Very nice move. They're going to get some deadly kills. The center, on the other hand, Premy is just falling back his swords. Although, oh, look at that. Devastating charge coming from the cavalry. Holy crikey. However, they're going to get counter-charged by Premy's cavalry, followed up by polearms and axemen. So while the swordsmen get destroyed, that's okay. Cavalry is going to take quite a beating. Cavalry is the aim of the game in the medieval era. General is coming in, getting involved from Anubis' side, smashing into Premy's handgunners. Meanwhile, the swords of Premy are getting really held up. Anubis being so aggressive with his pikes, axemen, polearms, everything. This is so hard to keep up with. There's so much going on. Meanwhile, on this left-hand flank, Premy's general and his cavalry and axemen are grinding away at Anubis' right-hand flank. Gonna take quite a while though, as Anubis has added 2 silver chevrons to his cavalry.
They're not done yet.
Infantry of Anubis is pushing forward so relentlessly. However, here comes the cavalry charge potentially against the axemen. Yep. Nice charge. Does get some kills against them. Fortunately, their own men did block them, so actually it wasn't all that nice of a charge. Meanwhile, though, Premy is starting to really stabilize things. Cavalry has been annihilated over here, so he's going to go ahead and chase down Anubis' gunners. Meanwhile, the general of Premy is grinding away against that single cav unit. The rest of Premy's army is starting to stabilize as well. Cavalry coming in, hitting the axemen. Swordsmen over here are getting somewhat outflanked, but there is support that's coming up. Can they be quick enough though? There is some swordsmen that are wavering, not looking good for Premy. However, look at this big breakthrough over here on the left. The handgunners are now routing. Cavalry's going to come in, push in. Polearms, axemen are well on the way. The general of Premy is still holding on though, trying to take out that single cavalry unit. Anubis' general is trying to fall back. However, cavalry push coming in aggressively right here from Premy. Oh my goodness, that's looking scary. Oh, what a charge. Coming in to save his own swordsman, as well as hunt down the general of Anubis. Oh yeah, Republic of Pisa is not looking good right now. Trier has absolutely recovered. Their swordsmen were just able to hold on just long enough, and now their general is dead. Oh my goodness, what a fast battle. Holy crikey. Both gentlemen coming in with some really nice levels of micromanagement. Anubis' troops are routing essentially entirely across the whole board here. He does have a couple units surviving, but they're about to rout. GG's. Premy takes the first win in this best of 3 series. Ooh, could have been bad for his cavalry there, but it doesn't matter. It's over now. Anubis loses the first match. We'll have to see if Anubis can bring it back in the second battle. Oh. But wow, what fast movement from both gentlemen. Super aggressive plays coming in here, and despite Pisa's numbers lacking, they actually weren't all that outnumbered compared to Trier. It just looked like they had so much more, but Pisa started off with a far more spread out formation, probably due to his pikes and polearms. Quite a good combination to hold your line, make sure the enemy doesn't get through, but then Pisa just comes out swinging with that aggression. Not what you expect with pikes and polearms. But, I mean, he almost caught Trier off balance there, but Premy was able to sort of rein it back in after that initial sort of charge came out from Pisa. Managed to stabilize the line quite well. He had to sacrifice a couple swords, but that's what they're there for, right? Cavalry did fantastic, and his axemen did quite good too. Overall, excellent battle. GG's to both gentlemen. Now let's go ahead and jump into battle 2 and see how they do in their next battle in this best of 3 series. Alrighty, everyone, here we are in Battle 2 of this Best of 3 series. We have Anubis playing as the Crown of Aragon, basically the Kingdom of Aragon over here. He is playing under the red colors right here. Meanwhile, over here in the distance, Premy playing as the Kingdom of Sicily. That's right, Sicily versus Aragon in this mix-up here. Again, factions I'm not massively aware of. I know both are quite obviously European based, so going to be coming in with some solid infantry, but extremely heavy cavalry. So that's what I'm expecting, a sort of similar lineup compared to the last battle, it seems, especially from Premy. Main difference though is that he has some crossbow cavalry. Very interesting. Anyway, let's start off with Anubis's army though. As I said, he's playing as the Crown of Aragon. Far left hand flank coming in with some very heavy shot cavalry, essentially some late knights. Massive lances again. Oh my goodness. Two-handed heavy axemen, incredible armor 80 for those ones as well. We then have a mid-tier spear unit. They do come with the shield wall ability and a massive shield, so that's quite helpful. And he has his general, which is another very heavy shot cav unit, although not the heaviest, but it's still quite up there. Then comes in with a heavy polearm unit too. Not just a polearm, but a 90 level armor polearm. That's pretty insane. Next he then has a low tier version of swords, or I guess low mid, which is sergeants. In the center here, slightly heavier version of swords. You can see that some of them have like maces and whatnot as well, like right here. I'm not entirely sure if that will contribute to the melee attack whatnot, though it might just be visual, but either way, he has some pretty good swords in the center, backed up by more sergeants on the right. Same heavy polearm unit, and then he again has two sets of very heavy cavalry on his right hand flank, more mid-tier sort of militia spears, and then he has another two-handed axeman unit. Fairly similar sort of setup to the last time, but this time Anubis has brought in some crossbows. Quite interesting, and he has foregone using his pikes in exchange for using spearmen instead, so we'll see how well that serves against him. I'm really liking this setup though. Army compositions and positioning from both guys has been really interesting straight off the bat. It's not just a typical sort of uniform setup like a pleb like me would do. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out Premysl. His army, as I said, he's playing as the Kingdom of Sicily. He's actually the one that has one less unit than Aragon in this matchup, I believe. Far left hand flank has a set of 60 men of crossbow skirmish cavalry. Only 55 armor, 30 melee attack, 40 damage as well. So they can do some damage in melee, but they're going to get wiped out by those very heavy Aragon knights. However, Sicily does have its own heavy cavalry to answer. One unit right here. Coming in again with this insane heavy two-handed axeman. More of a mid-tier polearm right here, so not as heavy as Anubis's. Might be a bit of a downfall there. This center, though, is looking just full of 5 sets of Aragonese swordsmen. Mid-tier sword again. 2 gunners at the front, though, this time. General is in the rear. He's King of Sicily, of course. And then another heavy cavalry unit. King of Sicily actually has better stats. Let's just get a close-up of the king. Oh, right there. That is the King of Sicily, apparently. Incredible unit, though. Oh my gosh, the armor, the jousts, spears, everything. Woo! Looking pretty fantastic. Polearms as well right here, mid-tier polearm, and then another super heavy two-handed axeman unit on the right-hand flank, a single unit of cavalry on their own. So far, Premy is starting off with a fairly deep formation, whereas Aragon is looking to stretch his line. So let's go ahead and fast forward, see how quickly things change as they actually get close to each other. Alrighty everybody, both armies have gotten relatively close to each other. There has been some skirmishing going on with the crossbows, however, they've literally just got their first kill right now, so you all haven't missed anything. However, cavalry crossbowman versus infantry crossbowman is not going to go well for the cavalry. Much larger hitbox, although they do have potentially better armor. Doesn't matter, they're going to go ahead and fall back. Wise decision, they're not really going to get much done in that sort of little engagement. Meanwhile, the gunners of both armies In this case, Premy has pushed his gunners way far ahead, very much on their own. Looking to just skirmish ahead with Anubis' gunners. Interesting call here. Whoa. Alright, almost shot us, mate. Be careful, we're just spectating. Anubis' gunners, I'm not sure if they're reloading or they're just thinking that the Premy's gunners are out of range. What is going on? Range is 140, range is 140, 140 for both. Here they come. Oh my. Woo! Giving those Empire and Napoleon Total War vibes right there. Despite Premy pushing this gunner engagement, he seems to be getting the worst of it so far, just barely. But you can see he's also done a group attack order with his gunners, so that's really nice. He's also actually hitting the enemy units behind Anubis' gunners, so he's going to be getting some collateral damage, which will be much welcome, as he continues to skirmish with his crossbow cavalry. Anubis, on the other hand though, is doing quite well in just like dealing with it. He has his own crossbowmen, which he can use for long range if he likes. He's then also just protecting his cavalry, literally shielding them from any charges. There's the attack order. You see that red line dictating what Premy is trying to target. Trying to get the cavalry. He understands that the heavy cavalry are definitely the main issue here. He's not going to get much done though, at least in my opinion. These crossbows, they're just so hard to make it be worth using. So we'll see what happens, but I think after a bit more skirmishing, Premy is going to realize he has to push forward. His gunners weren't doing as well, although they might have turned the tide based on these angles. Oh yeah, they have, absolutely. This gunner right here wasn't getting involved in the fighting at all. Anubis has only just given an attack order, and his troops are more clumped up. Much tighter compared to how far Premy has his gunners spread out. And again, that collateral damage will still be coming in. So the skirmishing is occurring. I like to see skirmishing phase though, so props to both gentlemen for going through the paces rather than just instantly rushing. However, they are both taking losses. The gunners of Anubis are now starting to fare worse, but again, not by a massive amount. Unfortunately for Anubis, his crossbowmen just have to be focused on the single skirmishing unit. So at the very least, this unit, even though it's not really getting any kills, it is still distracting Anubis from being able to concentrate his entire army. And his army is very spread out. Although it looks like he's going to go through a charge potentially, try and put a nail in the coffin, so to speak, against his crossbowmen. He's trying to charge them, but yeah, Premy's micromanagement's too on point. It's not going to work. He's just going to pull back just in time, just enough to infuriate him. Meanwhile, Anubis getting aggressive over here, perhaps trying to catch out Premy's gunners with some micromanagement. However, Premy responds immediately with both of his cavalry, and now the gunners are going to get some amazing free shots. This unit's going to get destroyed. See you later, mate. Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. That is not good for Anubis. Premy reacting really nicely. Anubis seems infuriated at the skirmishing, does a severe charge against the enemy. Charging the gunners, however, he is going to get countercharged. Countercharge is not very good whatsoever. Gunners take a massive charge head on. However, Anubis is about to lose one unit here, both of his units over here. While they're going to do well initially, they're going to get support against them by Premy. Premy is pushing his whole army up forward. Crossbowmen were finally engaged by the infantry. Looks like they've charged directly into the crossbowmen of Anubis. However, spearmen are coming into support, but that is 2 units being tied up by 1. Smart movement by Premy. Meanwhile, Anubis is trying to push these units forward. He's swinging his general around the left-hand side. Premy already is countering this though. Has his gunner moving over here into position, and a general coming out to the right as well. Gunners are so useful at dismantling cavalry. Premy is definitely well aware. Meanwhile, oh, here comes a charge against the Axemen. There's no defense right here. Look at this coming in. Oh, they did get into some sort of shield wall, but Doesn't seem to have mattered. 20 men lost on the charge. However, there is a countercharge coming by Anubis. Very nice micro on that part there. Cavalry, again, by Premi, trying to bog down Anubis' cavalry, but now he's starting to take some losses. There has been some support coming in from Anubis, so really nice to see. Uh-oh. Gunners right here targeting, having a literal firing range against Anubis' general. Does not take much to kill the king. Here he is right here. Yeah, mate, you better get out of range, Sonny Jim. You're gonna get assassinated. Good luck. Meanwhile, the rest of Anubis' army is kind of lagging behind. They need to hurry up and get more involved. Go over here and support this massive cluster on the right. Here comes the general of Premi again. Look at this. Oh no, Axemen are caught out. Not where they want to be. Ooh, disgusting. Those Axemen, I can't believe they haven't routed. They are an elite unit. Premi's gonna pull his general back just as Anubis responds with his own general.
The men are running. Stand and fight, damn you!
Man, that is concerning though. What an absolute mess going on here. It seems like Premi is starting to get the upper hand, though. He has more units involved. He even has his pole arms sort of blocking off any reinforcing charges. In the meantime, Premi trying to tie up Anubis' general. Anubis responds in kind. Aragon general facing off against the Kingdom of Sicily. King of Sicily, sorry.
Our men are breaking off.
Very scary engagement right there. Anubis and Premi seem relatively even so far, although Premi does have more cavalry available still. He also has both of his gunners. Axemen have pushed forward and attacking polearms head on. Get some kills, although the polearms, just with their animation and whatnot, and the way that they fight, they can get some serious stuff done. Need to be careful. Premi's general is still locked in combat against Anubis' general. However, he's now pulling out as he pushes his Axemen in. Axemen again, so deadly. 59 kills for less than 30 losses. Not bad at all. Gunners are coming in as well. Probably going to be trying to assassinate the general. Swordsmen and polearms are just sort of mixing up against each other here in the front. You see the polearms, they will kill anything in front of them though, like right here. They're very mobile as well. It's essentially, for you to divide it to para players, a polearm is essentially a short pike. The equivalent of short pike units in DEI. So as his polearms and swords are hunkering down against the enemy infantry, cavalry and axemen are swinging along this left-hand side. General of Anubis has been taken out. Well, not killed, but he is routing off in the distance. He's not coming back. Meanwhile, Anubis' entire right-hand flank is essentially collapsed. Looks like Premi's wrapping this one up, to be honest. Unless his general dies or somehow Anubis is able to get all of his cavalry tied up. Could bring it back, but look at all this wavering. Anubis' entire army looks like it's about to rout all at once. Got a route right here, two routes right here, one more off in the distance. I can't believe this isn't a chain route, to be honest. Holy crap. Cavalry is doing some nice rear charges. Again, they're super depleted, but because they're such an elite unit and they have Silver Chevron, they're not going to rout. Not until they're all dead. Even then, they're not routing, they're dead.
We have gained the upper hand.
Heavy polearm unit, but getting charged from the rear like that, doesn't matter how heavy you are going to buckle. I can't believe that unit hasn't routed, but here comes the swarm of Premi's forces now. Unfortunate as it is for Anubis, Anubis has been defeated yet again. Premi gets a solid 2-0 victory over Anubis. Let's have a quick look at these statistics. We can see the army is again looking relatively similar. This time though, Anubis actually had the extra men going up to 1,600, so just around almost 100 more. Not a big difference whatsoever. Wow, interesting. Kingdom of Sicily, holy crap. Coming in with some very heavy axemen and cavalry. The cav just did incredible. Very, very nice. And even though the crossbowmen didn't necessarily damage the Aragon or Aragonese cavalry all that much, they did tie up a couple of the units of Aragon, so that's still a frustrating thing to deal with for Anubis. So Anubis, I'd love to get your sort of thoughts on what it was like to deal with that in the comments if you're watching, mate. But anyway, just from my personal experience, having just even a single unit of skirmisher cav can be enough to tip the difference, tip the balance against you. So even though I necessarily wouldn't have tried that, Premy has gone ahead and shown how you can use skirmisher cavalry to your own advantage. I don't believe it won him the day or the victory by any means, however, it definitely contributed. His polearms and axemen were just so heavy, very, very solid combined with his cav. Very, very nice management overall. Anubis did a really nice charge. I liked how he sort of tried to counteract Premi's movement. I just think he needed to follow up a little bit faster with his swords. They were held back behind. Meanwhile, his other units were getting engaged. His cavalry just sort of got separated and dissected a little, especially in that middle sort of right-hand side of Anubis. There was a big cluster right there for quite a while with the general of Sicily, even fighting against the Aragon general, but just wasn't enough for Aragon to swing it back in their favor, unfortunately for them. GG's to both gentlemen, though, both fantastic plays. However, Premy, he will be moving on to the grand final. In fact, the grand final's already been fought, everyone, and it's time for me to go ahead and show you all the grand final in the next tournament video. Just keep an eye out for that on the channel, everybody. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one.